Can you take 2 articles and a lead magnet and turn it into a great course with lots of bonuses and maybe even a content empire? We're going to answer that question, folks, right after this. Or right after this. Hey, everybody, this is Jeff. Welcome to the Content Profit Show, episode 68. We've got a great guest here in just a moment that I'll introduce. A couple of announcements. This is really going to be a cool week on the show because today we're repurposing something unique. Wednesday, we're going to take a quiz and repurpose that. And then Friday, I'm going to have some fun with a long-term client because many of you know I never finished my doctorate in counseling psychology because they told me I couldn't write, and I believed them. And look at me now. And so I still couldn't write academically if you held a gun to my head. But Rick is coming on Friday, and we're going to repurpose some academic stuff. So before we bring on Amy, I'm going to bring back a long lost segment that I haven't done in years. I used to do it in teleseminar days. And now we're going to do it in podcast and livecast day. And it's called Another Captivating Episode of What's on Jeff's Desk. Okay. So I collected a few things to make it easy in reach. This is a old broken rubber band that I just play with. My remote to control the jazz music on the TV right in front of me. A little pebble from my most recent hike. I collect those all the time. And then some pictures I found going through some old stuff. I think this is about 3 years old from the writing on the back. Whoops. There we go. Get it over here. There we go. At some farm or something. The amazing thing about it, Amy, is that looks so much like my youngest son, Caleb, and so much like my grandson that I've had a little bit of fun with, this. Caleb's been like, how'd you get a black and white picture of me, Dad? And speaking of family, this picture is 9 years old of let's see, get this right in the right place. Come on, Jeff. You can do it. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
It's John and Caroline when they were not even engaged yet. Caleb and I at my favorite seafood place down on the Gulf Coast on the Conalachi River. And this is a crazy story, okay? I had to pay Caleb to try a raw oyster because that just looks so awful, Dad. I said, well, I'll give you $5. And I said, the trick is you got to put some cocktail sauce on it and eat it on a cracker. And he fell in love with them. So, So Amy is a really cool person. And I forgot to ask you this before we went live. Smeric?
Yes.
Yay, I did it. All right.
Yeah.
You responded like that's not a common thing that happened. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
People want to put H's and all kinds of weird, extra letters.
Sounds that aren't there. Yeah, I love it. Like a lot of times people will turn my last name plural, like Herrings. I'm like, no. Or Harrington. No.
Yeah.
Partially right, but no. All right. So Amy has this incredibly unique niche called meal making mantras. Okay. And she just makes this dinner time and breaking bread together as a family super easy and stresses the importance of doing that. So Amy, tell us how you got into this.
Well, I was looking for, when I found myself self-employed, I was looking at all these blogging niches, and food blogging was everywhere, and they all had all these fantastic recipes and photos and everything. And I was just thinking, like, I don't want to be one of those food bloggers. They're wonderful people and they have great photos and everything, but it seemed like there's so many of them.
Yeah.
But was thinking of just how many people collect recipes and watch cooking shows, and yet when it comes to kind of putting that together and getting that out on your table, or getting that, putting all the pieces together on a regular basis, like that's kind of the tricky part that nobody really teaches about how to actually do that. And
You
so
found a niche that needed to be filled.
yeah,
Beautiful. And
yeah.
I want to connect you with Barbara, actually, that I'm talking to after the show today, a recent guest who her website is Mantle and Table.
Mm-hmm.
Her whole expertise is setting up, for not really, it's formal tables, but not expensive tables. Okay, so I think you guys could have a lot of synergy, and I'll mention that to her when I talk to her afterwards, if that's okay with you.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
Most people say yes to that. All right, so let's take a look at what we got here with your articles. First one over here. What phrase did you use when we were talking about finding my way to self-employment?
Yeah, yeah.
What a great phrase. I love that.
Yeah, I worked in marketing for 5 years,
Okay.
and then my husband was going on sabbatical out of the country, and my employer was like, "Yeah, we don't want you to be 5 hours away and remote." And this was before COVID, so
Yeah.
remote wasn't real common yet. So
Okay. Good call.
yeah.
Very good call. It's funny about as you think of marketing. I saw a meme recently that I just loved. It showed a guy standing in front of a business that said fast alterations, right? At
Mhm.
the point of the meme, said missed marketing opportunity. This should be called Taylor Swift. Thought
That's great. Not
that would be, if I was them, I'd change the name now. All right. Making family dinner happen takes a change of attitude. Amy at Meal Making Mantras. I love the way you took your profile and did Amy at, like, I'm Jeff, the content profit coach. So great. Oh my gosh, what a great tagline. Here's what I've learned from creating over 10,000 family meals. Yeah, that dog will hunt. And there's some more stuff we can do with that. So, okay, strengthen your family dinner muscles with a daily mantra. I love it. And you set the scene so well. It happened again. Dinner was late. Everyone was hungry, tired, and craved nourishment. Cranky people, instead of a renewing time. I love it. This dysfunctional family dinner pattern seems imposed by an outside force. Yeah, I can tell you've come out of marketing. That's a good hook. Okay. What's really cool, folks, that I want you to pay attention to is what she's done here with, I called it an obstacles benefits article, because down here she talks about common obstacles to dinner time. That's one I hear a lot. Sheer exhaustion. Oh, I love it. An underlying belief that regular home cooked dinners around a peaceable family table are unicorn relics. Nice. We can do a lot with this. Okay. And so there's the obstacles, and then here's the benefits. Isn't that interesting? Because I've read about this, about better academic performance from eating around the dinner table. Better mental health. Yeah, that makes sense. So having dinner together can actually reduce depression.
That's what I've read. Yeah, I was.
That's pretty amazing. And I'm sure you've experienced that in those 10,000 meals. Okay, so that's Article 1. Article 2, family dinner matters. Okay, you get the double meaning there, folks. Family dinner matters, issues around family dinners, and family dinners matters, like it makes a difference. Connecting through food and conversation. Love it. Okay. And I love this logo here. I know that the effort I put into family dinners matters. And then you break it down, you make it simple, and you talk about conversation. I mean, this is so unique within this, right? And so this article would be a great bonus to the things we're going to put together, as would be, as we talked before the show, um, this lead magnet, meal making mantras, 7 free ways to get dinner on the table faster with less stress. Love it. And all these articles in this opt-in will be in the show notes, folks. So you don't have to worry about that. And folks, pay attention. This is really good. What Amy and I came up with before we went live was this could be another bonus, and make it somewhere between a bonus and a product. And then later you could take a bonus and turn it into a product, which super cool thing to do. All right, so let's talk about some things we can do with this in addition to the one you came up with while we were talking. So here's the 2 meal making mantras articles. I love that logo. It's an alliteration, meal making mantras. I mean, it makes somebody want to go, all right, what's that? So you've gotten a start on Medium. So we can use a lot of your blogs and a lot of your things from your website to create articles there, plus the templates. And so these 2 articles, the obstacles and the benefits article, would make a great mini course. Okay. And by that, I mean small course, not MANY. Something would be like maybe an hour long, low price. And you just, walk people through, what are the obstacles, and maybe if you did it live, ask them too. And go through the benefits. And I'm sure there's more than 3. And then you could even create a checklist within this about the steps to getting the stress-free meal, right?
Mhm.
Now we're going to add what you and I talked about here, because what we talked about that's not what I want to do, could really feed everything and would be a great way to monetize what you've got here. There we go. Let's bring this down. Further. These are the things you hope like heck work on when you're live. All right. So this would be a meal making mantra newsletter. Now, whether you're live or listening to the replay, podcast, or video, I'd love you to respond to this. You guys that are here live now, meal making mantras newsletter. If there was a newsletter that came out once a week, once a month, that gave you ideas for making this time better and easier and less stress-free, would you want to be a part of that? Yay or nay in the chat? I'm expecting a lot of yays, because I would be. Okay. And so I would suggest weekly. And then I'm real big on service delivery time. And so this doesn't have to be a 10-page newsletter. Okay. We're talking about really maybe a few pages with, well, it was your idea. So what were some of the ideas you had in going into your newsletter?
So what the content I already have is a ton of these short mantras, kind of thoughts to kind of focus on as you're putting meals together, getting them on the table, and so on.
Right.
So I was going to maybe expand on those and kind of, like you said, break down the kind of the steps of, kind of meal planning, but also enlisting help from your family, kind of the teachable moments that are at dinner, kind of conversation tips, and kind of the, my experience is that, like, restaurant eating is very different than home eating. And I think, like, the team aspect of that dinner time, like, it can be a team effort with the family, and that's kind of really helpful bonding and teaching time and conversation time, and just so much value there, and just sort of, I think, tips kind of.
Later on, I suggest you get the audio and transcribe this, because everything you just said should be in your newsletter. Okay? Because there's so much power in that. My oldest son is about as introverted as you can get, and my youngest son is more extroverted than I am, if you can believe that. But either one of them can talk with anyone, and I believe a lot of it is because of what we're talking about here, and even, being a single dad, and with all their friends and stuff, we would eat out a lot, and I remember being at Taco Mac, one of the local Georgia chains, with John's buddy Daniel one night, and we were eating, and I started to tell this story to them, and John and Caleb go, "Wait a minute, that's a story we've not heard." Like, I know, but the point is, telling stories became
Right.
what happens around the table,
Yeah.
and that's a skill you can use anywhere.
It is. Yeah. I think listening skills, a lot of that emotional intelligence stuff,
Yes,
you can pick up around the table, and be actively taught in. But I think if you experience that, you can kind of, if as you grow up with that, it's sort of intuitive. It becomes more intuitive in a way, how to do that, how to hold your own and whatnot.
there's a great title, an article in there, maybe even a course, The Emotional Intelligence of Family Dinners.
Mm.
I love that. Just, it sounds so different. It'd be like, all right, what's this about? So cool. So what we can do here is, this can be sort of the not sort of, it could be the ELP, the entry level product. Okay. And I'm talking like, you know, $7, $10, $17 a month. Okay. Something people don't have to think about, that when people start cutting stuff, this kind of thing doesn't get cut. And that'll be fine, because I mean, depending on how many people you get, I mean, I've got a colleague that charges $9 a month for what she does, but she's got 2,500 people. So, not a bad way to start the month.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all these other things, the mini courses, a flagship course, kind of the thing you're known for, short-term memberships where you take people a little bit deeper, and even a monthly membership about this could all come from here. Okay. Because the model we're putting together here, Amy, is you start simple. Okay. But, you hear me say a lot about every article has has the seeds for profitable products in it. Well, this is even more so with newsletters, right? Because you're saying more, you're doing more, and it's
Mhm.
especially if it's weekly. So another first on the Content Profit Show, creating a newsletter to drive everything. I love it. 2 meal making mantras articles, into a meal making mantras newsletter. I love it. I love it. And here's the thing: at the end of your Medium articles, you could do a couple of things. You could have as an opt-in, a free sample of a newsletter. Okay, you could have, a $1 month trial, and then it goes up to whatever it is. Or you could just sell the $10, $17 newsletter, right, like that. Because a lot of people don't think you can do that on Medium, but you sure can. And that's going to both grow your list community and make a profit and get some buying behavior. And proof that you can sell on Medium, many of the people in the content profit seat have come straight from Medium. So adding this, yay on you, Amy, because this makes this, I mean, it was good before, but now it's just rocking good. Because this is just this one piece is the beginning of an empire in this niche. And folks, I want you to listen, pay attention to this. Look up here, because this is very, very niched down within the food niche. Food blogging, da 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 da. I mean, this is several layers down. Okay. The cool thing is I've done some of the research on Medium already, and there's people out there that are into this. Okay. And you don't need that many. Okay. And like we said earlier, it's a very underserved niche. And think of the cross promotion, the podcast, the TV interviews, the this, the that, the merch. That's short, what kids use now, short for merchandise. You know, t-shirts, caps. Oh, you know what would be awesome is aprons.
Oh, yeah.
Sell aprons. So, I mean, we're creating multiple streams of income right here. Woo!
Shopping bags, like grocery.
Yes.
Yeah. There
Beach bags. Sure.
you go.
Absolutely. Remember how I told you 20 minutes goes by awful fast? Well, it has. So, two questions. One, are you getting a glimpse of the future, of what's possible here?
Yeah, I am. Thanks. This is great.
Excellent. My pleasure. Any questions?
What is like the low hanging fruit to start with? I guess to put together a newsletter and try that, right? Because I like the thought of recurring. Everybody likes recurring.
It's a beautiful thing. And it's kind of the holy grail of online marketing. So to start that way, so that's the lowest hanging fruit. And what I would suggest is that you launch it with the note of kind of an early bird special or a first timer fast action taker special, like at $7. Okay. And then with being real clear, we get to 100 or we get to 25 or we get to whatever, and it goes up to 17, and then it goes up to 27. And you know, when you stop raising it is when people stop joining. Okay. Write that down, folks. When you stop raising it is when people stop joining it. And the people that came in at 7 stay at 7, and etc. They're grandparented in. That way you're getting buying behavior, you're getting people excited, and then you just move it on up while we start to put some of these newsletters into these bigger products. So, and the first place to go is the people on your list now. And the second place is Medium. So we're gonna have some fun with this.
Yeah.
And on that note, it's time for me to say thank you for being such a great guest and bringing us good stuff and making good suggestions, Amy. Yay, you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you all for being part of the audience, for making this such a hit show that we're booked well into the summer. And as always, you can go, am I going to get it right this time? Yeah, you can go down here under my name. I have trouble with which finger. Under my name, if you want to be in Amy's seat, not where she is at home, but doing what she's doing, the content profit seat, you go to jeffherring.com/apply. All right, Amy, thanks again. Everybody, you need to do what we always say. You need to go use this stuff and ask yourself two questions, like I suggested in the email. How can I do with my content what they've talked about here? And how can I get Jeff to do it for me like I've done for Amy? And folks, go use this stuff.